Hello everyone, today I am in Karamelle because this is the theme of the castle I'm going to be showcasing today. As I mentioned in my last video, Karamelle is, as of right now, my favorite world in the game. I remember when I first started playing, which was back in like 2011, the Gobbler creature was like my favorite character in the game. I always thought they were so funny, and again, they're just like my favorite, hence the mount. And so when I found out they were getting their own world, I was like super excited. And then when I finally got to that world, it was better than I could have imagined. I mean, just look at this scenery here. It is so colorful and just bright, like it's so pretty. And also the storyline I thought was just super fascinating. So I knew I wanted to make a castle based off of this world. However, the Karamelle castle that is in the bundle, I was not a huge fan of, because it sort of had that like theme of a bunch of little houses inside a big house, and I just didn't really like that. So I decided to use another house and make it look like it's in Karamelle. So I'll show you what I'm talking about. But to just show you what kind of inspiration I took for this house, it's hard to choose just one area, so I kind of made a mixture. Obviously, you know, love the gumdrop forest. I also love the black licorice forest, and my favorite area was Gobblington. So I like to imagine my castle being located somewhere in like the middle here, you know, in between the two forests and right across from Gobblington. So without further ado, let's jump into the castle. So I like to call this castle the Gobblington Castle / Nana's apartment, and I'll show you why. So if you can't figure out already what house this is the Royal Playhouse, which is one of the two castles you can buy for gold in Wizard City. I chose this one because it's a little bigger, and I thought I could really make it seem like we're in Karamelle. So first thing I did was I put these trees around the perimeter of the castle because I wanted to make it seem like it's inside the, you know, very woody forests of Karamelle, instead of making it just seem like an island. So over here we had this little like entrance that was, you know, half eaten by some gobblers, you know, sort of give it that Gobblerton feel. Over here is like a little gumdrop garden. It's got the little gumdrop flowers falling, like a little pile of them here. Obviously no eating the gumdrops that are collected. We've got our giant, you know, gummy bear, which he'll come into play a little bit later inside the castle. This little gingerbread house I thought was very fitting for this area, so I put that there. Okay, so to make our way this way, this I like to call the Red Berry Woods. It's sort of like its own kind of forest inside Karamelle. So it's got a bunch of red berry bushes. We got our little Nana fountain with a gobbler who hasn't quite turned into a gobbler yet. Obviously here is the actual Royal Playhouse. It's got a little ticket booth, which you can actually go inside of, which is pretty cool. As you make our way here, you can see some of the shows that are going to be playing in the theater. You've got the Goblin King, the Fourth Lark, but the show that is currently playing right now, which I'll give you a little brownie points if you can guess what musical this is in the comments. You can see our audience is kind of jamming here. We've got our little band pit. So the set is all set up. Over here is like the behind the scenes kind of part. You've got your lights, your projector. And then on the other side is like the VIP section. So like your box seats. Like a really nice view of the stage here. Now what I really like about this theater is it gives you a good idea of where this castle is located in Karamelle. So if you look up here, you can see that the gumdrop forest is on that side, and then the black licorice forest is on the other side. And this castle is situated right in the middle. Alright, so let's continue touring the outside. So now we head over here to like this little bridge from the Red Berry Woods to the cotton candy forest. This view I also love. It kind of shows you the black licorice forest over here. You've got your little view of the mountains and the wintry forest over there. I love these little gobbler statues on the castle walls. Made it feel like a real, gobbler castle. Then we got our giant gobbler king here. He's sitting on a big pile of trash, which leads into the black licorice forest here. Here we've got like a black licorice tree that was cut down. We've got this broccoli tree. Here's like a little boardwalk that surrounds the beach, I guess, here. So we've got some pavilions. You've got a little bench here with your little gobbler friend. Little fish market. This ladder leads down into a boat where you can fish. Over here we got a little like construction site. Like a little like shed or something that's not quite done yet. So over here, I believe that this ladder works. Yes, kind of. I remember that being like a pain. So, not really, but kind of. Over here is like a little like campsite. Here's like this tree that fell in the backyard of the castle, and it's kind of like laying on the pavilion, or not pavilion, the boardwalk. A little tent here. Here, this beach is kind of like Gobblington themed. It's got like trash everywhere, and then I love this kiwi bridge. I thought it really fit the whole area. And then over here is like a little this gobbler statue that was originally up here on the wall, fell down, and is now like decaying with all sort of sea life. Now, a little secret in this house, which I'll show you, is if you head underneath the bridge, there's this little secret passageway under the waterfall that takes you into the theater. So I thought that was pretty cool. I like adding little secrets in my house. Okay, so let's move on into the castle. So when we first come in here, we enter the Gobblington Castle dungeon. And this is where like all the gobblers hang out. This is the Gobbler King's throne. I bought the plushie in real life because, again, Gobbler's my favorite creature and I just had to have it. And so it came with this little online plushie. And I thought it was very fitting to have him sitting on the throne. So here's all of his like presents from, his fellow gobbler followers. Obviously this gobbler's been bad. Threw him in jail. Alright, let's move in here. So this is like the Gobblington Castle Tower. A little more formal in here. You still got your gobbler statues. I like this gold one here. Okay, pretty nice in here. This is where you could have like your, formal meetings or a big dinner. Let's make our way upstairs. This is like a little library here. You can sit down and read, again with that formal vibe. And then at the top floor is like this little attic here that's obviously infested by spiders. And then I love this little dresser over here. Yeah, I almost was tempted to put this in my Halloween house, but I decided not to. And you got this little ladder up here to look out the window. Okay, so that's like basically all of Gobblington Castle. So now we're going to move on to like Nana's apartment. So as you head up here to the second floor of the castle dungeons, we've got like this, storage room, junk, food. We've got this like gobbler shrine, birthday cake. And then in here is where we get into like Nana's apartment. So here it kind of has like that, you know, Karamelle city vibe, like Nana's office. Little dining area here. Here's like the living room. You've got like this TV here that was like Lydia Gray Rose's portrait. She moved, so I thought it was kind of like a TV. And here is like her office / bedroom. This bay window here, this is kind of inspiration from the bay window that's in her her office in Karamelle City. I loved that bay window and the view was amazing, so I kind of wanted to pay homage to that in this house. So here's Nana right here. Here's like her desk with all her tchotchkes on them. She's got a little bar here. Here's like her bathroom. She's got like a tub, a sink. And now, while her apartment is technically connected to Gobblington Castle, I also wanted her to have like her own separate entrance into her house. So if we go out her entrance, it takes you to the backyard of the castle. So you see the tree that's fallen over. You've got like a little picnic table going on. Obviously it's snowing a little bit. And then here you have like a food themed garden. You got like a tea plant, ice cream, cherry, and a pizza flower. And yeah, so that's basically it. I was really happy to do this house. Like I said, I always wanted a Karamelle house, and I like to give myself a challenge, so I decided to pick a house that actually wasn't in Karamelle. Like this house is Wizard City, and make it seem like it is in Karamelle. Obviously with all the different scenery around. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this video, and this house. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. Thank you.